Hey, what is going on, guys? Donovan here. As you can see, the filthy RT is sitting right behind me. And to the topic of today's video is actually going to be kind of a first impressions thing of the 392 intake manifold. I had a few people DMing me on Instagram asking whether or not I thought it was worth it and worth the money and just worth the pain it was to install it. Obviously, I haven't gotten enough time to really performance test it and get the car on a dyno and stuff. There were some outstanding impressions that it had on me, and if you guys saw my Instagram story the other night, Jesus Christ. So guys, I just got the MSD box on and working properly. The active runners made an insanely huge difference. Oh my god. You'll know that I'm pretty happy with it so far. So anyways, let's get into it. Because of a wiring mistake I made when I installed the manifold, I actually, for a day or two, I had it running in only long runner mode. If you guys are unfamiliar with the 392 intake manifold, it has these things called active runners, and basically, when the car is in the lower RPMs between like 0 and 4,500, I think I have mine set at, it stays in long runner mode, which is better for torque production. And then after that, the MSD window switch signals that the engine is above 4,500 RPMs, and it switches to short runner mode, which is better for horsepower production. When you hear about the install and it requiring wiring, you're basically doing the wiring so that function operates correctly. When I had it in only long runner mode, I noticed that the car felt torquier, but it didn't really feel much different up top. And had I only left it in long runner mode, this mod really isn't worth it. So if you guys want to do an intake manifold swap and you want to get the 392 but you're afraid of doing the wiring, my opinion would be to not even bother. If you want to get the most out of this manifold, you're going to have to tap into your wiring harness so that you can activate that short runner mode, because I have to say that it did make a significant difference. The other night I was just kind of cruising along, letting the car adapt to the new air-fuel ratio, which I'm sure it changed, you know, given that I changed the entire manifold out. And this was about after an hour of driving it, so I doubt that it was completely adapted yet, but then again, I don't know exactly how long it takes. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to roll into the throttle at like 25-30 miles an hour. So I went ahead, used the paddle shifters, downshifted, and kind of did exactly that. I rolled into the throttle. I didn't floor it immediately. It was exactly what I said, rolling into it. It broke loose pretty bad, and I have to say, I don't remember it doing that before. Now, I'm sure that the tune has adapted a little bit better now since I have more seat time with the manifold on. Even in the lower RPMs, it feels a lot better. It's almost comparable to when I first put in the 309 gears. The manifold changes like the torque delivery of the car significantly. There's one thing I'm still trying to fix on it, and I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, but I kind of have an idea. As you can see, I have my jerry-rigged intake tube on right now, but when the engine is up to operating temp, it is, and it's idling, I kind of hear this chirping. It doesn't get louder with RPM, and what I'm thinking is that there's like air leaking from this little crankcase breather. But I went ahead and kind of retorqued some of the bolts because I know it's coming from this area right here. Really, that's the only issue I'm having now, and that might just be paranoia because I tend to be kind of a paranoid person and little sounds bother me. Other than that, I don't think it's a vacuum leak because the engine is actually idling like really smooth and the car is running really well, really strong. That kind of leads me into the other things that this manifold brought along that I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised about. So a second ago I mentioned the idling. When I start the car, obviously after I start it because it revs up when you start it, but when I let it idle there, the engine doesn't even look like it's shaking. It sits incredibly smooth. The drivability of this car with this manifold seems to have improved significantly in that the car drives a lot smoother, and even like the power delivery seems to be a lot smoother. I don't really know how else to describe it other than it feels like the engine had a fresh oil change, which it hasn't. I need to get to that. But yeah, you get the point. Now, by extension, I think that also quieted my exhaust down. I mentioned on my Instagram story, I'm gonna plug it once again, that I feel like the manifold quieted the car down. I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more on that, but like I said, it sounded like I got the oil change, and as you guys know, the cars tend to sound a little bit more mild when you get the oil change, a little less choppy, and the manifold actually seemed to do that. From the inside it sounds a tad louder, but then again I can't really tell because with my exhaust system it's just kind of obnoxious most of the time. But definitely at idle the car is a lot quieter. Also, I've been beating on this thing the past couple of days, just making sure everything's running properly, and my gas mileage doesn't seem to have changed much. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I think that suggests that this actually improved the gas mileage of the car, given that I'm driving more aggressive and getting the same gas mileage. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Sorry if you can hear the gardeners in the back. Whenever I decide to film a video, they gotta start cutting the grass. So far, I give this mod a thumbs up. This obviously isn't a complete review. After I get the car on a dyno and stuff and get some real performance tests, I'll let you guys know whether or not it is worth the X amount of money that I put in and time to install it. But yeah, it's looking good so far. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for being patient with me. It's been hard getting out these videos, mostly because I'm trying to space them out, and I don't want some of them to get swept under the rug in your guys' sub boxes and stuff. But I hope you guys found this video somewhat entertaining, or if you guys enjoyed it, remember to click that subscribe button below. Thank you guys for 1750 subscribers. We're moving up pretty quickly. Next goal is 2,500. Hopefully we get there before the end of the summer. That's kind of my goal. But yeah, if you aren't subscribed, remember to click that subscribe button below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.